Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Tuesday Night Live podcast from the range with your host, John G. Johnson. Hey, it's John the firearms instructor. How you guys doing this evening? Hope you're doing wonderful. Hope you had a great 4th of July. Let's do a finger count. I got all 10. How about you? A lot of people lose their fingers during the 4th of July working with them stupid fireworks. Be careful, be careful. So, how's everything going for you guys? I hope it's doing well. I know I have had a couple of days here. We have been moving. Thank you, Howard. Got all 10. There we go. We've been moving from the old house to the new house, and we've been doing it while it's been raining. Miss Johnson's a trooper. She's been unloading and unpacking and washing everything to bring it into the new home. And I've got my garage a mess, and I've got everything else a mess, but we're doing okay. We're blessed. I mean, that's all I can say. We're blessed, and we're very fortunate to have you guys here this evening. Welcome to Tuesday Night Live. We do this live every Tuesday at 6 p.m., and we've been doing for almost 2 years. It's unusual topics or things that I think are in what you need to know and everything else like that. So, and we are live tonight through Facebook. We are live through YouTube. We are live through Rumble. So if you're watching in one of those, feel free to say hello. The one thing I will tell you is if you are new to the channel or never seen us or heard us or been here, go ahead and let us know who you are and where you're from. And if you are one of our regulars that are here every night, go ahead and say hello too. That's all right with me. I don't mind that at all. So we always do this YouTube thing live and we sort of answer some questions from our YouTube channel because we are getting inundated with questions now on a lot of stuff I put through. We are close, we're just over 710 videos total, and we're reaching that fourth uh 40,000 subscribers, and that's thank you to you guys. But there are a few questions that people keep asking, and I thought I would cover a few of those before we start our topic this evening. This is from Josh Red 3 days ago. He said, I shoot a full size pistol, awesome, but my compact carry is all over. I just, I'm just getting away from more mistakes with my full size, or is it just the CC, my carry pistol, is shorter and much heavier trigger? I think it has to do with the trigger, really. It doesn't really matter how you control the weapon if you're controlling it. Maybe the trigger pull is causing some of your issues. I would recommend working on a slow cadence and work on trying to get that trigger back as smooth as possible. Reason why the full pistol seems like it's more accurate is because the full pistol has a longer barrel, which in turn would be more accurate. This is from Lazarera. He asked, "Where are you located?" And we are in Cape Coral, Florida. That is between Naples and Tampa on the southwest side. Here is one from these names kill me. Tiguru, Tengokuryu from 4 days ago. My double taps go low all the time on my second shot. Any recommendations? Yes, you need to control the weapon properly through both shots. You're losing control on the second shot. What I would recommend you guys is to make sure that you're driving with your chest muscles more than you're trying to control it with your hands. Too many people try to muscle the gun with their hands and they're not putting any kind of pressure on the weapon any other way than their hands, and they're trying to use their forearms and their triceps. I want you to use your back muscles if it's a woman, and I want you to use your pec muscles if you're a man, and that'll help you tremendously grow. If you want to feel what that feels like, go ahead and put your hands together. Bring your hands together like this and push out in front of you and squeeze your hands together. You'll feel your pecs kick in. This is how you're supposed to really shoot a pistol with tight pecs, not tight hands. All right. That is that one. And then we are going to. Uh, those are the ones I wanted to cover today. That's one. I thought I had one more, but I don't see it right now. So that is the questions of the week. If you have a question, you can always go to our YouTube channel and ask the question, and you can always ask it when we do these lives as well. We do them every week, and there's opportunity for you to do these. I assume everyone can hear me pretty well, and we actually put together a nice little program for you this evening, and it is why most gun owners plateau and how to keep climbing. As a firearms instructor, our job is to get you to understand what you're doing wrong with the pistol and continuously do stuff right with the pistol to get you to feel what a good shot is and what a bad shot isn't. And this Tuesday Night Live is part of our training products that we give you. We started this YouTube channel many years ago to motivate, educate, and entertain. And I thought if I could give you enough education or I give you enough knowledge, you guys would support it. Kate, yeah, Kurt Richards, thank you very much for being here. I appreciate you very much. You and Howard, thank you. You can go ahead and comment, guys, when you're on. You let us know where you're from. We appreciate that back. But most of you guys have been consuming our products for a very long time. And as a firearms instructor, who's taught a bunch of people, I learn a lot from you guys. So I try to put all that stuff in each one of these things. I take the students of the week and kind of look for where they're having their problems, or I'm back there on a Saturday when we're open range from all the guys, and I start watching what they're doing. And most of them are doing some kind of a pull or jerk or squeeze. Now, obviously, when I'm with them, they shoot pretty well, but when I walk away, they fall back to weakest training. And that's somewhat challenging for anybody. So when we talk about plateaus, it's a real issue. It holds thousands of gun owners back. It's an easy solve, really, if you think about it. It's understanding or having the ability to understand what you're doing wrong. Take the average student, take the average person. It's a Saturday. They've decided after they got all their work done, they're going to go to the range. So either they come to the range and they buy ammo here or they bring ammo in and they walk in the door. They've got their earmuffs on, they got their eyewear on, they grab the target from the box, they put the target on the wall, and they put it on the track system, push it out to a distance it's probably too far for them to begin with, to start out with. And they take a 15-round magazine, they load 15 rounds in the gun, blah, 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 and the first string of rounds, the one that should be the most important right off the bat, the first 5 shots out of that pistol, you've decided to shoot 15 out of the pistol. And we know, and I know, and everyone should know that you can't control that weapon for 15 rounds. You're going to lose your leverage on that pistol and you're going to run into some inaccuracy problems. Because you may be pulling the trigger. You may be not having your sight alignment just perfect. You may having the gun a little low. You may be lifting the gun, your head up over the pistol to see where you're impacting the target. There are a lot of things that we do as shooters that affect that firearm more than what that firearm does to affect us. So just keep that in mind. Those firearms are more accurate will ever be. But we need to really understand how to put the leverage on the pistol to control the pistol to make us as accurate we can be. And the challenge with that is as we start putting 15 round magazines in the gun, 15, 15, 15, 15. Well, guess what? You're almost close to 90 rounds there without even really even thinking about it. You're over probably 120 right now. And now all of a sudden, what did you get out of that? Nothing. And you're only in the range for about 12 minutes. 12 minutes of high velocity, 12 minutes of high magazine count. And realistically, if you kind of look at your target, are you in where you need to be, or are you low and left? Are you low and down? Are you up and right? Or you just riding that thing through, you know? And these are the problems, and this is what causes the plateaus is that we are not following some kind of program or plan to do at the range, right? Everything that we do through the master class, the handgun training system, or anything are all about putting a drill together that you can finish, visualize, work on, and shoot. And this is one thing missing for most people's uh, repertoire, if you could use that as a word. Big word for me. I said it right. I'm surprised. You know what I'm talking about when you shooting just stops improving. This is the one thing that most people see, right? I ask everyone student that comes out, "Hey, how'd you shoot today?" "Oh, okay. Not great, but okay." Is that acceptable? Is that acceptable to be okay? Technically, I believe in a high stress situation, we're not going to be accurate to begin with because we have a high rate of uh, adrenaline going through our body. But shouldn't we be better than okay? Are you accepting okay? Or should you accept a little bit better? I think what happens is people just assume, hey, I'm going to figure this out. Trust me, you can't figure it out. Takes an awful lot of time. I can't figure it out sometimes. I've got students back there that I finally get them figured out after what I've watched them do. And I watch students all the time. There are some people who are low and lefters. And there's nothing we can do. They're doing some kind of hand grip things, everything else like that. I almost have to make them shoot one handed to figure out what they're doing wrong with the pistol. But it's about thumbing, it's about pushing, it's about palming, it's a lot of stuff the students are doing, and you cannot be behind the gun and see what you're doing wrong. That's why when we're doing training classes with students, we videotape an awful lot to show them the anticipation, to show the pulling of the trigger, to show the front post dipping every time you shoot. And when you get into that habit of dipping the gun or letting the gun rise during the shot or looking up over the pistol or dipping your head into the gun, all that stuff's going to cause inaccuracy. And the problem with that is most people just accept it. And that's kind of what you don't want to accept it. There's too many things in the world today that are offered to you guys to improve your accuracy, to make you a better shooter, you know? If you're feeling stuck, you need to start wondering, what am I doing wrong and how can I fix it? Here's the truth. Most people don't plateau because they're not good enough, right? They plateau because they don't have a plan. They don't have a structure. They don't have feedback, a real progress path to become accurate. And this is kind of one of those things why we talk about this all the time, because as a firearms instructor who has been very fortunate that you guys love me or love my product to give me close to 40,000 subscribers and you're asking for my help, and I would love to go and get in a plane and come to you and take you to range and figure it all out. So I tried to find the program or the product that I could have for you to consume to get that aha moment. You know what aha moment is? That's the moment you realize what you're doing wrong and you can fix it. Then you go, aha, my God, I can't believe after all this time I figured out why I shoot low and left. It's not happening anymore. And that becomes so much elations, right? You're excited about that. It took me a long time with working with thousands and thousands of students to visually see and prepare them for what they're doing wrong. So now most of my new students, I'm giving them a head start in their shooting career. Because unfortunately, a lot of people do not take firearms training very well. They just don't sign up for it. They just think they're gonna figure it out. They're gonna go to the tubers, right? They're gonna go to YouTubers, and they're gonna look. Those guys can only show you so much, but we put a system together that will help you tremendously get to the next level. I've told you many times about the master class. We didn't do one in July. The next one's coming up in August. It's going to be the first weekend of August, first Monday of August, and that's going to be showed up here pretty quick. And that's for new students who've never shot before or someone reintroduced it to shooting. And that master is 4 weeks of working with me exclusively to get your fundamentals down to figure out if you can shoot good or bad. A lot of people just assume I'm just going to go down the range and figure it out, but that's not the way it is. You got to have some help. Whether you have your friend that's a shooter or whatever the deal is, but get someone to support you through your progress and you'll be a lot better because they can help identify problems for you, hopefully, and be able to solve the problems for you, hopefully. So whether you're a brand new shooter or you've been shooting for years, if you want to get better on purpose and not just by chance, this lies for you. Grab a notebook, share this with a friend. Let's get started. Here are 10 reasons why gun owners plateau and how to fix each one. Number one, they stop learning after the permit class. Now, in Florida, our permit class or our first training class we do concealed carry as a hook here. We want to get students to take firearms training with us. But there are people in the world that have been shooting for a long time and want to get their concealed. So we do economical concealed carry. During the summer, we drop it all the way down to about $30. And that's going to give you the rules, regulations. That's going to give you everything you need. Blah, blah, blah. They come to the store, they shoot a couple rounds. It's not a firearms training class, but most people use that as their class. And now they're carrying a gun. One of my questions I always ask in the concealed carry class, we do group classes every Wednesday night. I always say, when's the last time you shot? Last class was the first class I've had in probably 3 months where the 4 students that were in the class had shot a pistol before. Yes, I'm telling you, people get their concealed carry license in the state of Florida and have never shot a pistol before, and they wanna carry. I don't understand that. I truly it boggles my mind. I do not wanna force somebody to take a firearms training class, but I will tell you this, in the state of Florida, you cannot drive a motorcycle on the streets of Florida without taking a full class about motorcycles, understanding the laws, the regulations, and all that stuff like that. But you surely can buy a gun and not know anything about it. Now, obviously, a lot of people are gonna call me a FUD because I'm being like that, but I think it's kind of important. if you're bringing something in your home, you damn well better know about it, and you better know how to unload it and load it and shoot it and work it and do all that stuff. Because when the crap hits the fan, I'm trying not to cuss so much. When the crap hits the fan, you're going to fall back to the weakest training you've ever had. And if your concealed carry training only allowed you to shoot 2 rounds, matter of fact, most of the time in the concealed carry classes, we give you a brief overview how to load and unload, but you're really not doing a ton. So that's why we put the combo. That's why we put the combo in that allows you to do some firearms training it and firearms training with the concealed carry. Now we do offer online and we do offer the concept more than anything is to get people behind and shoot well and understand it. Many people think the permit is the finish line. The permit is just the beginning. We haven't talked about holsters. We haven't talked about carry. We haven't talked about shooting on a regular basis. We haven't worked on how we're going to carry. We haven't worked on any of that other stuff that needs to be discussed. We haven't talked about upgrading our trading system. We haven't talked about doing a defensive class. We haven't talked. There's so much stuff from here to there, right? And you got to make sure that the number one thing is that you do not stop learning. The person who stops learning is a person who does not win. And that's important. So, number one, they stop learning after the permit class. What you should do is shift your mindset into starting a point or a journey or a structured program like the master class or reinforcing the fundamentals and the progression. My YouTube channel alone has a full playlist of the master class. There are plenty of playlists, drills you need to know, things like that. The handgun training system's another great one. People tend to haphazardly think it's just going to be there for my protection. And I'm going to, funny thing is, most people who do that never have the gun loaded because they're not comfortable carrying a loaded gun. They wait for when they need it to load it, which is another whole thing we talk about. So, number two, they shoot without a purpose. And I think this is kind of one of those deals, people come to the range. Listen, I make money on range time. I make money on selling ammo. I make money on training classes. I'm not complaining about people coming here and buying rounds, going in the back and shooting. I think we need to get to a point where when is enough enough? It's sort of my pet peeve. I know the person, I know the group of people that are just here to shoot and just shoot. Just bang 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 bang. And they really don't get they're not into training. They're just into making a lot of noise and shooting fast. And we kind of allow that. I kind of It's part of the deal there. We kind of limit, the rapid firing and all that stuff like that. Because what we sell, what the concept is, you can shoot as fast as you'd like, but it's got to be controlled. If they're hitting the floor, if they're not hitting the target, if they're not hitting where you're aiming, then you need to slow down. You need to slow down and understand that in real life, we're not going to use the sights anyways. We're going to be point shooting. We're going to do a lot of different stuff, but we've got to put some kind of program together to get you comfortable. Range time becomes repetition without intentions. And this is kind of the deal. 300 rounds later, and all you got out of the 300 round Saturday was loss of money and bad habits. Loss sounds like a bad Saturday night, huh? Bad habits, yes. So, solution is use some kind of training drill. Specify a goal. Yeah, that'd be good. Track your hits, time, distance, difficulty. Work work on the drills that we give you, or you can download from our website, or you can download from our course systems. The Check out the PowerPoints that we offer you guys, and the structure program help. The two We need to get a program together, because a large part of the problem I see most of the time is students are coming to blow off steam, not to be accurate, to blow off steam, which this weekend, last weekend was a good opportunity to see how much money was blown into the air. Now, Florida really has these tents around, people buy fireworks and they blow them up in the air. And I don't know what it costs nowadays, but when the kids were little, we would go buy them and everything else like that. And buy one get one, and all the stuff that's going on with these tents and everything else like that. But there's thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars being blown up in the air, right? That you're never going to get back. So if you look at your firearms training just like that, right? You look at your ammo you're wasting, you're never getting that back. The problem is, every time you engage that trigger in some kind of mode that's not going to be, that's the what you know. That's how you know it. And that's how you're going to shoot in a high defense situation, which in turn could cause us problems, because we, as concealed carry holders and carrying a weapon for our protection, we're responsible for those bullets. What they hurt, maim, kill, or paralyze, we're civilly, criminally, and morally responsible. Even if we were to win against the bad guy but hurt five innocent bystanders, we're not a hero. We're going to be in trouble for that. So get a plan, guys, please. Number three is you're not really getting any feedback or coaching. I'm up front at the range Monday through Saturday, and I'm in and out of the range all day watching students and check in. And when the woman comes or a guy comes and I see them having problems, I'll identify them. I'll go back there and try to help them out, try to get. But majority of the time when they come out, they really don't understand what they're doing wrong. They bring their targets to me, they ask me, and then once they've asked me, they're already done shooting. So then I tell him, I give him this tip, I give him that tip, I give him this tip, and I say, and he goes, I'm gonna try that next time I come in. I go, oh, that's great. Well, shouldn't you come and got me a little bit ago? That way we could have kind of maybe tried it while you were back there. I don't charge for that stuff. I want them to be accurate. I want my avatars, the people come shoot with us, to get as much as they can out of it. But when I tell them something this Saturday and they try to do it next Saturday, you may not remember what I told you. They shoot solo, and guess what went wrong? That's the one thing I think most people, with the master class, we started identifying a lot of stuff for students. We did 5 master classes in a row, and a lot of those guys just got to the point where they identified what they you could just identify what you're doing wrong, and we'll be able to fix it. Then it makes it so much easier, because you've been at the range and you've engaged the trigger properly and everything felt perfect, but you felt that crappy shot. And that's the one thing that most students tend to not feel right off the bat, is a good shot and a bad shot. Good shot and a bad shot to a new student almost feels the same, because they don't know. But when you get them driving the proper, you get them shooting proper, then all of a sudden they get that Oh, that's what a good shot's supposed to feel like. So one of the things that we offer a lot of stuff is we offer the ability to give you some feedback. You could submit your targets in our handgun training system directly to me and work off a feedback system that I can help you no matter where you are. You could be in any state in the United States. I actually work with people in Canada. I've worked with someone in Germany uh, that wanted to have my help, and I wanted to be able to do that. So that's what I put the handgun training system together for. It's a course system. I give them a target and all that stuff like that. But it's hard to understand what you're doing by yourself. You just can't see it. Number 4, they don't journal or track your progress. One of the things I think is I see it an awful lot. Guys get to the done with shooting 300 rounds. They sweep up after I remind them, no, that's not true. A lot of guys sweep up now, but in the beginning, some people didn't realize you had to sweep up. Yes, you got to sweep up, but they would just pack their stuff and go. And what we were trying to do is get everyone to take some time, analyze what their targets look like, and shoot them accordingly and be able to see what's going on. That's why that marker system is so important. If you want a real good tip for yourself, make sure you have 4 color markers in your bag. And then when you shoot a drill, make sure that you stick to the 5 rounds at a time and make sure you, like most of our drills are set that way, 5 rounds at a time. Do the drill twice. You looking at using 20 rounds or 40 rounds, whichever way you want to do it. And then each time you shoot your first 5 string, you mark it with a different color marker. Then you can start identifying, oh, look, it's one, two, and my third shot's always a low. My fourth shot's low. My fifth shot's low. My first two where they need to be. Why are those three going down low? Because most likely you're loosening your grip because it's hard to control the rounds. And this is kind of what happens because people try to squeeze here. I want you to grab your hands together and grab your pistol next time and squeeze as hard as you can. You can probably squeeze as hard as you can for about 25 seconds. And then all of a sudden, you start loosening your grip and loosening your grip. Now, loosening your grip gradually like that causes us uh, a loose grip is going to give muzzle flip. And with muzzle flip, is going to cause inaccuracy issues. And these are the things you can identify when you're actually tracking your progress. But if you're not tracking your progress, it's hard to know. And when you put 15 rounds, you can't pick the one round from the other round from the other round. So you have no idea. Number 5 is too much focusing on gear. Yeah, the red dot. Red dot's going to make me more accurate. No, it isn't. You still got to pull the trigger. You still got to engage the trigger. Listen, I get it. People want to buy high end pistols and they think the gear is going to make them more accurate. Every week, every week, we got guys coming in here with red dots and they still shoot low and left because the dot itself, unless we sight the thing in to shoot low and left, it's gonna go where you're gonna push it, if that makes sense. We can adjust it to everything you need to do, but you shouldn't adjust your when guys come to me and go, "There's something wrong with this sight on this gun. Do you have a pusher to let me push it over?" No, I don't. Let's figure out what you're doing wrong. And I go back and I shoot it, and it doesn't shoot low and left. And then I kind of visualize. I know how to shoot. He says, "Okay, well, let's go back. If you do, and if it's moved, we'll move it." And then I shoot. It doesn't shoot low and left. So the idea of it is, we are manipulating the firearm, and they're counting on this gear, this magical gun. or this magical optic. I want you to focus on grip, stance, trigger control, mastering the gun you already have is better than buying a new gun thinking it's going to make you more accurate because it won't. Because it won't. And that's happens an awful lot. People think I'm going to get a red dot, it's going to make me more accurate. And it most likely, if you've never shot a red dot before, it's going to frustrate the crap out of you because some of us older people can't see that red dot really well. And it's, or we have stigmatism and it's fuzzy, or we can't see it at all because we're left eye dominant and the gun's over our right eye. I will tell you this: one of the tricks I'll give you on red dots is you got to have both eyes open and you got to focus on the target and let the dot float. Number six is they avoid dry firing. One of the things that I could tell you by doing so many masterclass that the dry firing really solved a group of people, novice students. It really put them on the game when they began to dry fire on a regular basis. I'm talking about giving me 20 a day. I don't I every one of our drills we lay out, every one of the homeworks we do for any of our classes or coursework we give students, we're always having them dry fire before they live fire. And that becomes a better solution for you. It's like golfing. We've talked about this. I shoot If I go shoot a bucket of balls before I play golf, I'm going to be a lot better. I'm going to be loosened up and I'm going to have a better game than me rushing to the golf course, barely getting near a tee time and getting in the cart. And the first club I swing is on the first tee. That is not going to be a good day. I promise you. It's not going to be a good day. That should not be how you do it. Give me some dry fires. If you're doing first string is five, give me five dry fires to five live fires. Dry firing is one of those things that people are only relying on live firing. It tends to limit your improvement. Automatically, if we live fire and dry fire and we commit to this on a regular basis, you could use a laser cartridge, you could use the wall drill, you could use a firearms training, any kind of thing that'll help you dry fire. But I think the more you do live dry at the range, the better you are getting to understand trigger travel. Because trigger travel is one of those things that most people just don't, they get it wrong. They just they get the trigger back like they think they are, and then they get excited. Excuse me, I got hold my leg there. They get excited, and at the very end of it, they rip the shit out of that trigger, and it causes so much inaccuracy at that point in time. If someone said to me today, "All right, here's it, right? This I would need to know if you were going to give me one thing to pay attention to from now until the end of time, John. Give me your secret. What's the secret to becoming a better shooter?" And I would say understand trigger travel as much as you can. Because if you have a great trigger press and you have the ability to understand how far that trigger needs to go before the gun goes bang, and you understand that travel point, you're going to be a lot better shooter. You can have a crappy grip. You could have not the greatest sight alignment. You could have a little bit of muzzle flip. But if you've got a good trigger press, it's going to be there. But if you have all the excellence of good grip and you're driving the pistol and you're doing everything right and everything's perfect and you rip the shit out of that trigger every time, you're you're done. because that's the one thing that changes the angle of the pistol as and you manipulate the pistol by pulling, jerking, squeezing, thumbing, looking over, looking under, not looking through. I mean, there's so many things you do that trigger causes a lot of the manipulation that we're having. Number 7, guys, is no structured training plan. I think what happened when we started the master class, which was something I didn't even think about, was I started these students that were shooting once a month. And that's why they were kind of having problems to begin with. And then I put them on a drill, homework, range time once a week, 50 rounds, and they did it over and over and over again for the 5 weeks. And then we did the next master class, same thing. And what was very aha moment for these guys was week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. Each week they were progressively getting better with trigger press, with sight align, with sight picture, with grip, and their targets showed it because the groups went from really big to really small in 4 short weeks because they were progressively doing it over and over and over again and getting their system down. That's all it is, guys. Getting the system down and understanding it. The solution is like the handgun training system or the master class. You got to follow a system. It's a 4 week program that allows you to get a drill a week, a target a week, a a homework a week, a course system that you can read, a PDF every week, a PowerPoint presentation to tell you how to do it, and it makes you accountable. It makes you have the ability to, okay, I need to finish this up. Because how many times do we say in our head, hey, I need to get to the range once a week? I just got to do it. There's no reason why. And the gun range here, locally, here, us, we're open 7 days a week. We are open from 11 o'clock to 7, Monday through Friday for range time. I do classes in the morning. We do classes all day, but my first class is at 9 o'clock every morning. And then we do Saturdays and Sundays from 10 a.m. to 6. There's got to be some time in there that you can get here and put 50 rounds down range. But you got to do it on a regular basis. Remember, this is your job. You are the defensive person in the home. If you have this weapon in your home and you're carrying on your body, you are your first line of defense. Have you heard that before? I say it all the time. You are your first line of it, not a cop. It's your job to be accurate with a pistol. You owe it to yourself, you owe it to your family, you owe it to society. If you're going to have a weapon on your side and carry it in public, and you may have to defend yourself, you need to be as accurate as you can be. And having a structured plan would help you tremendously over just winging it. Number 8 is lack of confidence, and that kills motivation. I see a lot of people go back there and they're making faces or they're cussing a little bit because they just can't figure it out. You know, the problem is a few bad groups, and then they feel like they're just not good at shooting, and it has nothing to do with you. No, it has nothing to do with you, but technically anybody can be a good shooter. Last week, 8-year-old boy. Now, obviously, I had to help him hold the pistol. His brothers, his dad, his one of my members here's son, and they're all from New York. The 3 older brothers were shooting 9mm, and the little guy didn't want to shoot 22. He wanted to shoot 9. So I said, "All right, I'll help you." And I put a paper play out in front of him, and I held it. We did one round at a time, and he drove that gun like you would not believe. And he shot it well. And he wasn't a big boy, but he shot a 9 millimeter, 8 years old, and he was hitting his paper plate, which was more to say than the rest of the case because they were getting carried away. Got a 17-year-old kid, got a 14-year-old kid, 11, and the 8-year-old. So, I mean, at the end of it, I mean, the 8-year-old, he was able to load his own load a round in a magazine. The first round's kind of easy, but he didn't want to be babied. And I don't blame him. So it's kind of cool. But confidence has to be there. And the little guy, compared to all the rest of them, he wasn't worried. He wasn't scared. Maybe he should have been, but he was with me, so he didn't have to worry about. He wasn't intimidated like the older boys because they from New York. They've been told that those are deadly weapons, and never to touch them, never to look at them. And dad and uh, father wanted the kids to shoot. We did them a year and a half ago when they all came for the holidays, and they were back this time for a short trip, and we were able to get them in and get them done. And confidence will kill motivation. If you think, you know what, I'm going to go to the range, I'm going to buy 100 rounds, and I'm going to shoot 40% accurate. That doesn't feel good. There's nothing good about that. But if you can go and buy 100 rounds and shoot 85% accurate, that'd be awesome, wouldn't it? And that's not too far away. It truly isn't. When you get through the mental blocks, these small achievements, the drills that we give you, the wins, the weekly celebrations, the feedback from me, it's going to help you tremendously take it to the next level. And that's what most people who come here who have been shooting for a while, they realize that what I'm doing ain't working. And I keep trying to go up the mountain to get to that hill up top there to become, 80% accurate. I keep sliding down under the 50s all the time because you're just not putting everything together. You know, number 9, they don't push themselves beyond a comfort zone. I see this. There's 2 things that happen. Some people come in the range and are too damn confident. I'll give you that example. I've got most of our targets here are 15 by 24 or 14 by 12 by 12, something like that. And it's got a little silhouette guy. And they put the target up, they staple it on, they push it all the way back to our back line. And they take a string of 15 and they shoot. Bang, 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 bang. And then they pull the target forward. Out of 15 rounds, they hit the target 3 times because that fur distance, the more manipulation you do the firearm, more chance it's going to go off the left or low or high right or wherever it's going to go instead of working at a short distance first. If you work at a short distance and work further back, you can kind of push yourself towards the come. Our job really here is to get the target to a position that we can fail. Then we know our weak points that we can start working on them. But I think you should start at a short distance. And before you leave, I think you need to come back into a short distance to leave with confidence. Hello, Phil. How you doing, buddy? Come back with confidence. Because when you leave, when you come in, you all have great confidence when you come here. It's just that first 3 magazines which dashes you to the ground because you're trying to figure out what exactly you're doing wrong. You know, the solution really by pushing yourself is challenge yourself with speed, distance, accuracy, maybe time limits, include tests, timers, and longer distances. The more longer distance we shoot, the more the short distances will be like chip shots, if that makes sense. I'm a bow hunter. We shoot further distances for when the 20-yard shot happens. It seems like a chip. It's not hard to do. The problem is if you've never shot, I would never shoot at a deer at 40 yards. We live in Florida. You're not going to be able to see 40 yards. It's hard for you to cross the field, and the bow's not going to be able to do what it needs to do. I've got whitetail there, hogs over there, turkeys. Most of that stuff walks right into the tree stand. I mean, if you scout properly and everything, so a 25-yard shot on a deer is a long shot. But I will practice 30 and 35 just for the purpose of it because we know when I do any kind of bobbling at those distances, it's going to cause accuracy to be an issue. Okay. Number 10, they have no holding them accountable. And I think this is important. The problem is without a deadline, motivation slips. Without some way of holding you to a certain situation, there's no motivation for it. And that's kind of why when we interview our members here, we don't want your money if you're not going to use it. We want you to be motivated and realize there's something that you and the missus, or you and the better half, I should say. I'm not going to be like that. We've got a lot of different strokes for different folks, and we have no problems with any of them. So, you want to bring your better half and come shoot? That's what you should do, because technically, you two uh, are the team, if that makes sense. And if you're by yourself, you are the team. You are the team. So, that just keep that in mind. So, not having someone accountable, I'll hold you accountable. Just come here. I'll make sure that you're accountable. I'll make sure it's always that. But whether you do the master class or you do the handgun training system, joining a training group, a Facebook group, or the handgun training system is the answer with the uploadable targets, the check in weekly, to stay motivated. I mean, it gives you the ability to get all the drills, tips, techniques on top of the fact that you're getting to the range once a week for a plan. Be honest with you, most guys go to the range just for shits and giggles, not because they're trying to be accurate or doing anything out of it. So I hope tonight gave you a little clarity and confidence and recognize where you are and how to move forward as a shooter. Plateaus are real. There's no question about it. We all have them. But whether they're not permanent, but they are not permanent, excuse me, but they are not permanent if you have the right system. Guys, the reason why we put all the systems we have together is for students just like you. I put the handgun training system in for after the students pass the master class. And I found out that a lot of the regular shooters that didn't really need the master class were looking for something like this for them because they wanted a structure plan. They wanted the weekly drills. They wanted the clear instructions and goals. They wanted a PDF planned out. They wanted a PowerPoint presentation. They wanted the printable targets. They just kept asking for something from us. That's why we put the handgun training system together because it gave you the ability to receive all that stuff from me and to work with me throughout the season. So I put together this thing for the purpose of letting the masterclass students graduate into becoming a regular regular shooter. Remember, some of these masterclass students had never shot a pistol before, or if they had, it'd been 20 years and they were going back into it. So we got a lot of new students. We got a lot of students have been shooting for a while, but they were having little problems. And when they graduated in this, I put the master class together for you. And the and and the handgun training system is something that I wanted to give each and every one of them, and I wanted to continue work with them. And they paid for the master class to begin with, but now I'm doing a membership based handgun training system for the masses. And we have get that price down to almost less than a box of ammo. For 29.99, you're going to get 4 lessons from me each month. You are going to get a PowerPoint presentation every Monday about that week's drill. You're going to get a PDF of the instructions, and you're going to get a target that you're going to use at the range. Your job is to go to the range, complete the target, send it in for the course system. You can upload your target to the course system. And at that point in time, I will look at your target and then contact you either via email, through the course itself, or if you guys want to contact me, you know my contact information when you're having your issues and problems. This is a great program for you guys, and technically, it's building a membership based program for us. And I want people like yourself who are like minded to work with. And each time I have one student that succeeds, it makes me smile and it makes me happy. We have a full library of ebooks, guys, that you can actually look at as well. Most of those ebooks are set at $3.99. We have them on sale for $2.99, and I want to give you one for free. If you have not received one of our free ebooks, I would highly recommend you check them out. They're about grip, they're about stance, they're about trigger control, they're about sight picture, they're about sight alignment. And each one of those books takes that one topic and breaks it down to an elementary level that you will understand why and what and how. It makes it so much easier. The great thing about the YouTube channel is the consumability of the channel itself, because most people learn from viewing, not from reading. But the cool thing is, with the ebooks, there are videos on my YouTube channel that are attached to them as well. So when you look at like ebook Why I Shoot Low and Left, there is a full video on why you shoot low and left and how to solve it. So if you want to head over to my YouTube channel, or you want to go to my Facebook page, or my website, those are all in the links down below. The books are in the links down below. I would highly recommend you take a look at the handgun training system. I think it's a good option for most students. I'm willing to give you one drill for free. All you have to do is comment below free drill, or let's try it. Let's try it. Let's try it. Let's try it is what you're going to put, and I'll give you this week's coming up, Monday coming up. I'll give you a free one. And if you like it, it's going to work for you, then I'll send you in the next one for you too. And the cool thing is, no matter when you get into the handgun training system, whether it's this Monday, next Monday, or 10 Mondays from now, I hope not, but 10 Mondays from now, Every drill we're doing is a different drill, and they're archived. So when you get the system, you now get all of those drills. I think there's 20 in there now. There's 20 in there now, and there's probably going to be more than that when you decide to get in. Because this is in a live that we're doing here, and it's going to go onto our YouTube channel, and it's going to be played over and over and over again. So if you want to get our ebooks, they're in the description below. You want to sign up for the handgun training system, it's down below. If you want to get a free drill from us, show you what the training system's all about, go ahead. Let's try it. Let's try it in the comments below, and we'll put you in for one of those for the following week, and I'll get you signed up for that as well. It's just a thing you sign up for, and you'll get an invitation to the following week's course system. Uh, God bless, be safe, and remember, you are your first line of defense. Thank you very much for being here this evening. I'm going to go up and comment for people who have made comments for us tonight, and thank people who have showed up. We've had a pretty good evening this evening. Howard, thank you very much. Appreciate you being here. Kurt Richards, thank you. Kurt had a couple comments. Let's see what he has to say. A lot of new shooters have unrealistic goals and attempt to progress too. Yeah, beautiful, man. Neglecting, yeah, different. Yep, that is true. You know, unrealistic goals. Well, they watch TV. That's most people how they learn to shoot is through TV. You can see it when they're back there lifting the gun when they shoot, because that's what TV guns do. That is true, Kurt. Thank you very much for commenting. I appreciate you being here. Uh, oh. Yeah, advancing too quick is one of those things that people try to do. You know what really happens is they get a good weekend. Somehow or another, they get a good week, and then they get a good week, and they take that and put it under the belt, and come back the following week, and they're all over the place because they haven't been continuously doing it. And most of the time, it's not about the week; it's about first 4 magazines, first the last 10 to 15 magazines. And I think that's where the challenge is. I think if I could give you the tip of all tips, I've already told you the one, right? But the other one is keep that round count down to 5 at a time. Just put 5 rounds in a gun at a time, and keep that down. That's going to help tremendously, and keep the round counts down at the range. 100 rounds or less. 100 rounds. If you shot 5 rounds at a time, and we took 50 rounds. Now, keep in mind, I'm a firearms instructor. Most of my students, I have them shoot somewhere between 50 and 70 rounds per class. So we're shooting 5 at a time. And, obviously we're talking during it and everything else like that. But if you did a 5 round count, did your analyzation, got your markers out, visualize what you're doing, you're still be here about 45 to 50 minutes. And technically 45 to 50 minutes is long enough at the range, to be honest with you. You'd be underneath your hour. Now, we're not one of those time counters that's come back there after you've been here an hour and 10 minutes and go, up, you owe us another $12. No, we're not going to do that. That's not our deal. Only time I'd ever say anything to anybody back there is if they've been here all damn day and we got people waiting, which we've never had someone wait anyways. We always had availability. We're not. I would consider us a gun range. We're a training facility, and we specialize in you. So I'm John Johnson. I'm the owner and operator of a firearms training facility, and I specialize in you. And I appreciate you being here every week for the Tuesday Night Live at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on our YouTube channel. Before you check out, make sure you check your YouTube channel. Make sure you are subscribed. If you're on Facebook or Rumble, make sure you hit a like button there, and make sure you follow us there as well. Would help you out tremendously. Somehow or another, once in a while, people get unplugged from my YouTube channel. Go ahead and make sure you are subscribe before you leave. Until next time, God bless, be safe, and remember, you are your first line of defense. I love you, folks. Keep shooting straight.